Sounds kind of boring, doesn't it? That's what I thought when I first received my topic. Then I started to do research, and I found it extremely fascinating. I didn't realize the impact they had on today's astronomy. So why do they matter, and who cares about them? First of all, they have many advantages compared to their outer space counterparts. Ground-based telescopes can be built bigger for less money. For example, ground-based telescopes cost around $700 million to $1 billion, while space-based telescopes cost around $100 billion. Ground-based telescopes are around 89 square foot, while the biggest space telescope is only around 21 square foot. That's a 68-foot difference. As you can see, ground-based telescopes are bigger and cost less money. Ground-based telescopes have led to many important discoveries and theories. For example, the LBT, or Large Binocular Telescope, captured the first contour of a planet forming back in 2015. The LBT is one of the first large ground-based telescopes that utilizes two giant 8.4-meter mirrors. These mirrors allow the LBT to cancel the blur of Earth's atmosphere. They also let the LBT see more clearly. The LBT has many more important discoveries and accomplishments than Earth's belt. The LBT has measured an unknown detail, the fourth innermost planet in the HR 8799 planetary system, located more than 128 light years from Earth. The LBT observations significantly revised previous understandings of the atmosphere of the four planets. The LBT observations of the Trapezium region in Orion were able to determine the positions of young stars and their orbits around each other with 7 times greater accuracy than any previous study. The results confirm a long-expected theory about the nature of star formation. The LBT was able for the first time to probe more deeply into the interior of the debris disk surrounding the star HD 15115, revealing a symmetrical structure quite different from previous observations by other telescopes, including the Hubble Space Telescope, a space-based telescope. Another ground-based telescope is the FAST, or the 500-meter Amateur Spherical Radio Telescope. It is indeed 500 meters wide in diameter. The FAST searches for alien life, pulsars, and leftover shockwaves from the Big Bang. The FAST discovered 2 pulsars in 2017. Ground-based telescopes have discovered many important scientific discoveries. A rare exoplanet which orbits around 2 stars at once has been detected using a ground-based telescope by a team led by the University of Birmingham. This planet, Kepler-16b, orbits around 2 stars, with the 2 orbits also orbiting around another, forming a binary star system. The Kepler-16b is located some 245 light-years from Earth. The ground-based telescope, which is approximately 193 centimeters, utilizes in this new observation is based at the Observatoire de Haute-Providence in France. Researchers were able to detect the planet by employing a radical velocity method, which means that astronomers observed a change in its velocity of a star as a planet orbits around it. And this method is crucial to the discoveries of new exoplanets in the future and would have not been able to happen if it weren't using a ground-based telescope. Now that you know some of the accomplishments and some of the discoveries, let's dive into what exactly qualifies a telescope to be considered a ground-based telescope. Well, it just has to be on or connected to the Earth. The first ground-based telescope was made in 1609 by Galileo Galilei. You guys already know about Galileo's story, so I won't go into much detail about him. The best place for a ground-based telescope to be built is typically on an elevated area away from any human-made structures. Human towns/cities pollute the atmosphere and make it hard to see the night sky above them. And obviously, if you build a telescope, you want to be able to see past our atmosphere. So how do they work? Well, the telescope must use optics, mirrors, and lenses. They zoom in and can see dim light. Really powerful telescopes can see very dim things and things that are really far away. To do that, the optic must have to be quite big. The bigger the mirrors or lenses, the more light the telescope can gather. Light is then concentrated by the shape of the optics. That light is what we see when we look into the telescope. The optics of the telescope must be almost perfect. That means the mirrors and lenses have to be just the right shape to concentrate the light. They can't have any spots, scratches, or other flaws. If they do have such problems, the image gets warped or blurry and is difficult to see. It's hard to make a perfect mirror, but it's even harder to make a perfect lens. So now you know who invented the ground-based telescopes, why it's important, where some are, what they have discovered, when it was made, and how they work. I hope you all enjoyed this movie as it was directed and produced by Peyton Ryan.